A very warm welcome to our webinar colleagues, cash handling at schools. We trust that you will leave here with fresh ideas on how to implement them at your school. My name is Nhlanhla Sibanyoni and I'll be hosting this session this afternoon. I'm not flying solo, but I'll introduce our facilitator a little bit later. Please move on to the next slide. There you are, our vision slide. So our vision at Macmillan Teacher Campus, which is MTC in short, is to empower, motivate, and develop all educators in South Africa by providing a learning pathway for continuing professional development. Please move on to the next slide, Willie. And we will email you the certificate of attendance within 2 weeks. In fact, that will come generated by the platform itself. And then you can take that certificate, log on to the SAIS website once you have received it, and to register this webinar as a self-directed event. Right, so like I said earlier, I'm not flying solo today. I'm with Willie Schoeman, our facilitator for today. Here's a trainer bio. Willie, she's a highly experienced educator and advocate for educational excellence. Over 38 years of experience in the education sector. I was a deputy principal for 4 years and then a shop steward at the South African Educators Union, advocating for the rights of educators. So you at the right place, colleagues. Welcome and thank you for sharing your expertise with us, Willie. We are looking forward to learning from you today and also sharing our experiences with the group. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nhlanhla. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the graveyard shift. I know it's very late in the afternoon, but we will survive, hopefully. And I hope that you will find this presentation educational as well as very fruitful. If I go back now to the slides, you can have a look at the slides so I can see it. We would like to talk about advantages as well as disadvantages of using of cash in schools. You will see on our contents, there will be that activity of advantages and disadvantages. There will also be an activity called best practices, where I will talk through some of the practices that we are utilizing at schools or did use at schools and maybe can be benefiting the schools that I'm talking about now. Some of the educators who are sitting and listening, you can actually apply these practices and benefit your own schools by that. Now, we'll look at cash activities. Where do we utilize cash? For what activities are we utilizing? And you will see when I get there eventually what are we going to say to each other. In the cash handling committee now, you must take note of this. This is very important because there must be a committee that must be compiled to do this type of job, to look after the cash that is being used and be utilized in the school system. Although we know it's a very expensive type of activity, but we will look into that just now. And then some practical tips. What did we learn through the couple of the past years? What can you maybe by yourself bring into your schools or in your system as far as that is the practical tips are concerned? Then you can make some changes with that, with regard to that. Sorry. I'm sorry, before I go there, I would like to talk about this first of all. Now we're talking about cash, and I would like to say to you, to have cash in your pocket or in your hand is a good thing. To have more cash than the average man or average person out there is a great thing. But to have lots and lots of cash, this will put you as the top privileged people, what we know in the world, but that can also sometimes turn on you in a very awkward way. So this is a lot of cash. This is a man that went through education. He only had one thing in mind, that was when you go on pension, he would like to buy a decent car. But look what lots of cash can make when you're actually not looking after yourself. See the slide. And now where do I go? Here I go. You have learned for yourself that cash is very good, but it can put you in a difficult spot. I think so. Let's look at the advantages what we are having when we talk about cash in a school environment. It is convenient. By that we mean reduced electronic payments. Cash is widely accepted as a method of payment, and everybody thinks that they can utilize it in a proper, decent manner. They know how to work with money. But I think the negative thing is that it reduces electronic payments, and that is actually the world where we would like to be, because cash is very dangerous nowadays. You have it in your hand. The second activity is cash awareness. Now, the awareness of the monetary value for our learners. What we would like to have is our students to learn how to manage their own money. Students must learn what is the value of 100 Rand and 1,000 Rand and 10,000 Rand. We have some days we have these marketing classes. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like a marketing day, and everybody, some days, sometimes it's the junior groups and sometimes the senior groups, and then they will buy a product or food or whatever on a marketing day, and they will try to get money for themselves. So this is what we actually would look at when it comes to the awareness of monetary value for learners, and how will they actually do business with the money so that it can be making a profit for them. The third advantage is the accessibility, the payment method for parents and learners. So it's easy for a parent to give money in the morning for the child and say, go and buy something to eat at the tuck shop during the break. It was even better for the child to give the child money, cash in hand, and say to the child, you go there and you see what you can do as far as the school attire is concerned. Buy yourself some new shoes, or buy yourself a new shirt, or maybe some pants. And everybody knows exactly how much is the money. If it's 200, 300, 500 Rand, then that is what the parent is giving. The fourth advantage is the instant transaction. Cash transactions are fast and efficient. It's there, it's now, it's immediately. They ask you 20 Rand or 30 Rand, you give them 20 or 30 Rand, the deal is closed, it's finished, you take the change, you put it in your pocket, you go. Cash doesn't require any technology, only on one condition is where it comes into technology. If you have like a big fundraising activity, and they're all different people that are working with money, with cash, and then that money must be picked up. There's a whole program at how this should be actually working out, and then somebody must go and pick up the money, and it must be counted. And the best then is maybe to borrow something from a bank, where you can just put the money, the notes in there, and it counts the money. That is where technology comes in. Then, if you look at the disadvantages, the first thing of the disadvantages with regard to cash is the security issue. We know nowadays that when you work with cash, it increases the risk, and there's always possibility of lots of losses that you can actually gain by that. Especially learners, students are quite ignorant with regard to money. Sometimes they don't understand that actually I should safeguard the money, I should put it in the proper place, away from everybody's eyes that can actually see it. Cash can get lost very easily. It can get stolen very easily. You're experiencing this in your schools. Cash get misplaced easily, leading to financial losses. And activities like that, also another disadvantage is administrative burden, safety measures that must now be accounted for. And when we talk about safety, there must be writing receipts. Now we find that people come with 5 Rand to the school, and then the people sometimes at the financial department said, no, but we're not going to give you a receipt. You have to write a receipt. There must be, even if it's 5 Rand or 1 Rand, write a receipt, because that will safeguard you when you actually do control and checking later on your finances. So it can be administrative burden due to the small number of money. There are 100 students that brings 5 Rand, and you must write 100 receipts. Write the receipts. That is the best way to do it. Limited traceability, tracking of reconciliation of payments. Now, this is quite difficult. When you work with with cash in the financial system, it's easy to give the money, but it's difficult to track the money, related to the activity that has been bought. Now you buy a rugby jersey, or you buy a winter jacket or a rain jacket or whatever, or a scarf at the school, then it's difficult to trace exactly what money has been spent against what type of activity, commodity that the child is using. Then technological development, greater safety and comfort for parents. That's what the technology brings for us. Learners is not very in favor of this control, because the parents can monitor exactly what did my child do with the money, where does he go, how did he utilize the money, although learners don't like that. Then bullying and theft. Students may be targeted for cash. Now, if a student or 5 or 10 students coming with lots of money, sometimes they come with 200 or 500 rand to the tuck shop. You had all been seeing this, and you have experience of this. And then if someone can see that you have money, they will come, the bigger guys will come and bully the smaller guy. And eventually the smaller guy will go and take that money and buy for the other people food, cold drink, something maybe at the tuck shop, something maybe at the clothing shop, or you will try to impress some of the lady learners and buy them sweets, whatever, cold drink. But that is actually bullying, and eventually when they take that money from the young student, then that is actually theft as well. Limited payment options. Cash money is not accepted for all transactions, thus limiting students' options that they have. So students would like to have many options, not only one type of option, but a couple of more options how they can actually spend their money. If we look at best practices, ladies and gentlemen, many schools pursue the whole process of best practices. And for example, we're looking at safes and safety boxes and cost implications. Now, everybody that are currently in the school will realize that we're sitting with what we call a walk-in safe. And that walk-in safe can take maybe 15,000, sometimes 12,000, sometimes 14,000 rand. That's why the majority of principals at schools, as well as the governing body of schools, will then see to it that they put an additional small safe into the big safe. And that small safe can maybe carry 38,000 rand. So when having a big function, the money can be taken and put in the big safe, and the majority of the money can actually be safeguarded in the small safe. But that differs. The fact of the matter is, the more the cash, the more the expenses, because even that cash money must then be reconciliated, must be added properly, must be written on documentation, and it must actually, what is the word? It must be the exact value from what you have spent and what you have earned. It must be the exact value of that. Otherwise, we are getting to problems with regard to cash money. The problem is that people take the safe keys, and 2 people are running with 2 safe keys, whilst the one should be an administrative lady, the other one should maybe a governing body or a SMT member. So always make a deviation there and give 2 people the safe keys, so 2 different people can come and open the main safe, and then another 2 people can actually go to the smaller safe and open the small safe. So there are 4 people in total. This is what best practices showed us that what works the best. Then the second issue is the school bank account of learners. Now, I know many schools tried this in the past, and some of them are even trying this today, but they're not, the success is not fantastic. It's maybe a 60–70% success, but it's not 100% success. What we do get is, like, when students come with an e-wallet facility, they can utilize some of the spending of the money in the e-wallet facility. There are different smaller accounts within that e-wallet. For example, the parent can put 100 or 200 rand on the tuck shop facility, or they can put 5 or 6 or 800 rand on the school fees, the school attire, or they can put 5 or 6, 700 rand on school fees, or maybe transport costs. The learners are going to activity for sport or culture, then they can actually board that bus and they utilize that money that is in the e-wallet. They pay for the transport cost totally separately. Or school attire, as I said, or the parents will pay the money into that wallet, and the child must take the money then to the school to pay the hostel fees, so that the child can carry on in the hostel for that term. Sport coach demands different sport outcomes, so it's quite difficult to determine what exactly the maximum value of money that one must put into that specific e-wallet for that activity. But that is actually a very good system. Sometimes it is very time consuming, but sometimes it's not. Depends on the type of system that you are having at the tuck shop, at this where you pay for school fees, at the transport cost, at the school attire shop, etc., etc. The third activity is cash handling policy. Now, there must be a policy because this is such an important activity of handling cash in the school on a daily basis on different avenues and different places. There must be a proper and a decent policy where we can say who is in charge of this activity of handling of cash in the school. Second, who is then accountable and who is responsible. So there's a difference between accountability and responsibility. I can be responsible, but I will not get such an hiding if the money is being slipped through the hands or wherever, comparing to the guy that is the accountable officer. That one is in deep trouble because if they are utilizing money like 100,000 rand and they use it for a project, and that money gets lost, then that one individual who is in charge of the accountability will be really in trouble. But I see you see which way I'm going now. Point number 4 has to do with the security on the school grounds. Now we can say a lot about security. Nowadays, schools are really in 6s and 7s when it comes to look at security on a daily basis, on an absolutely regular basis. So one can safeguard the commodity of money, where in this instance we're talking about cash money, and 2, where you safeguard the lives of the learners and of the teachers, of the parents who could be coming into and out of the premises of the school, the general workers on the school premises. We would like to safeguard all those people. It has happened so many times that people are ignorant when they're working at finances of a school and they don't count the money properly. They don't look at the safeguarding of the facility of the offices, or even the safeguarding of this, like steel doors or security doors. And this is then where the thieves and the scallons, where they come in, they will keep you with gunpoint, and they will just take the money and they will run. So when we get to the school grounds, something like cameras on the dead spots, where the difficult spots, even when at the gates, we would like to see the customers, the foreign customers coming into the school premises at the gate already, so that you can actually maybe try to stop them there before they get to the administrative building, before they even get to the finance offices, and before they even can get to the safes. We would like to stop them there. Cameras are working fantastic when it comes to that. And that, we're not only talking about one camera, we're talking about 360 degrees cameras that can zoom, that you can actually see where are the people and what time they come. You must realize what these scallon people are doing. They will keep a watch on what's going on in your school. How do you work with the system in the school when it comes to cash? How many people will come and fetch the money? Does people come and fetch the money after 1 hour, maybe after 2 hours? Do they close the gates? Do they safeguard themselves from, as far as security is concerned, from the people from outside the premises of the school that can just chase in with their car, grab the people, grab the money, run out of the facility again? Or do they safeguard it? That's why we talk about security. Close the gates. Get security people to be there and man the gates. They will be safeguarded, as well as the money will be then safeguarded. And be very alert when it comes to suspects. I told people the other day that we can have all these security spots, and we can have the gates, and we can have 2 sets of teachers or security people at the gate. What are they doing? Are they just sitting there? They've got a baton in their hand, or what? Do we get 2 or 3 or 4 security people to assist the educators who are making, that are gathering the money, to look at those educators and assist them and be around them and safeguard them? This is important, what I'm talking about. One never realizes, but it can happen very quick. Then guarding and supervision, I say to people at schools, maybe you should actually go to the security company. You have maybe 2 gates, 2 entrance gates. You place one security individual, one security man, then at your main gate, another one at the secondary gate. But then when it comes to a busy time, you're having an activity, a sport activity, which is normally big, and you find that you get 3,000 to 5,000 people there. There, everybody knows outside, all the crooks are knowing that there's a lot of money that will be involved and how the money must be utilized. I hear some of the schools are going into the tuck shop as cashless. They say it's totally cashless. But it's sometimes also difficult because especially if there's not internet and there's not a Wi-Fi and they can't link the system with the card system, and then they can't actually sell, and they don't get, it doesn't show on the credit cards or the debit cards that the money went out or not out and it's not in. So it's quite difficult. Then in that instance, I say bring better supervision in. We look at SMT members, we look at governing body people, and you can place them at a set spot for 1 hour. Then after 1 hour, they change, and after 1 hour, they change again. So eventually, everybody will see that we're looking at staff, we're at the security of our staff, we're looking at security companies that can come in and assist us. We're looking at the SAPS, police. I remember that there were big functions where they've got like 10,000, 15,000 people taking part in a fun run activity, and there's a lot of money involved. So what these guys who organized the whole activity, they arranged that there could be many people from the police with proper safety measures like weapons and batons and whatever, so that they can safeguard the people that are on the premises. We look into that. Some people don't like the South African Police Department or the Defence Department to be there, but it can actually benefit the school when it comes to the total safety. Then when we look at the protocol is a handling of cash. And now I would like to do a poll so that we can have a look at this. And the first question I would like to pose to you is, do you think a proper protocol of handling cash is necessary? Do you think a proper protocol of handling cash is necessary? Just yes or no. I'm trying to see now what the audience view is. 100% of the attendees can see us. They can hear me. They can actually see the same screen. Just make a yes or a no that they can see. For the poll is in progress. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back onto air, back onto the system. It shows 100% on the first question. 100% say yes. The second question on this poll: do you think this is just a big hoo-ha about the changes of cash in schools? Do you think this is just a big hoo-ha of the changes of cash in schools? I just wait for that. Poll is in progress. I see we're still off air. The network is very slow. The audience also said they 100% said yes. Then the last one: do you think schools with a proper protocol and safety measures are better off than schools with no protocol measures at all? I'm going to say it again. Do you think schools with the proper protocol and safety measures are financially better off than schools with no protocol measures at all? Answer there, please, either yes or no. What do you think? Is it better be with the protocol or without the protocol? The poll is running. Right, we also have 100% there from the audience. They think this is very important activity. What we have already posted to them is the questions, and everybody says yes there in that instance. Right, let's move to the next slide. We're looking now at cash activities, ladies and gentlemen. And if I can mention maybe 10 or 12 activities, you will most probably think of another 20 or another 30. So there are many activities in the school, in our schools. I'm just going to mention some of them so that we can see where are the difficult spots, that we can actually counter for those difficult spots and be on time and properly ready for what is coming for that particular day. Now, we talk about civil days or civil days, where we actually like students to bring a R5 and then they can wear civilian clothes for the day. And now what we do is, and I've seen that at many schools, they place the SRC members, of the RCL members, RCL, SRC members, they place those students, maybe one or two of them at each one of the gates or the entrances in the morning, and then they must get the money, but there's no proper process. There's no decent process where they can mark it off and say, grade 8 comes in gate number 1, grade 9 grade number, gate number 2, and grade 10 grade number 3. They don't say it like that. They just place these RCL members there and say, okay, you guys must get the money. So the teacher involved in this activity of small fundraiser, which we call Silver Day, they will get the money, and then after when the period already started, the new period for the day will start. We will call upon those learners and say, okay, bring the money. Now we see for ourselves, okay, we've got 1,500 learners in the school. We're supposed to get R5 per learner. Now they only supposed to calculate to 7,500, but we actually only did get 1,000 Rand. So that is for 200 learners, and the rest of the money is gone. Or the children actually took the money, or the children didn't get the money initially when the learners came into the entrance of the school gates. So civil days can be a great way of doing this activity of fundraising, but it's very difficult to manage that if you haven't got a proper plan, which must be dealt with the learners or the educators who are involved. It's quite difficult because I don't think we should put the learners in that difficult spot. Is they actually don't know, because to them that's a civilian day. They just want to play around for the day, and now they are in trouble because the money is gone. So if you want to make money as principals or the individual that has been allocated to take care of that activity, then it means that you must look into who's going to get the money, how will the money be counted, where will the money go, who's going to assist whom at the gate, because they must relieve each other. It's going to take me maybe an hour, half an hour, so that all the learners can come into the school premises. Look at civil day, because that can be quite a challenging activity for us. Then cake sales. Everybody loves cake. When they have cake sales, it is true, and they must manage the money, but they don't manage the money properly. So they buy the cake, and then they sell the cake, and there must be a profit in it, a small margin of profit, so that they can learn how do I do business with this environment of entrepreneurship, etc. So they go look into that. And again, the teacher that is in charge of the cake sales must work out beforehand. How many students are going to bring cake? What do we expect most probably to get out of the sales of the cake? What percentage can we get as a profit? And then that money, the rest of the money must be paid in. So they pay the cost of the cake that they bought, and then they pay the rest of the money into the school. It must be controlled. And I will come back to this again and say that to you, trust is good, but control is always better. Don't just leave it like that and say, we will get eventually there. You don't get there. That is the problem. The tuck shop. Some tuck shops are run by the school. Some tuck shops are actually managed by private people from outside the school premises, and that they actually make a deal with the governing body. On the tuck shop, the same. People are watching the money. People know how much money is there. Just have a look at that. See for yourself. Excuse me a moment. Then I think the biggest issue is gate fees. You'll find so many schools are making, excuse me, so many schools are making money when they charge fees for people to come into the premises. Saturdays, even weekdays. Excuse me for a moment. And nobody is checking the money properly. If you have a card system, there's a great card system where you can actually number the tickets up to 1 to 300 or 1 to 1,000 tickets. Then the money, if you ask 20 Rand for a car and 20 Rand for an individual, then it means that these people must check whether the money that they've got in their hands, the cash, and the ticket numbers, whether they correlate with each other. If that is not like that, we are losing the money. The majority of schools that I know do have this ticket system. They mark the ticket system up to 1 to 300, 400, 500. Some days, Saturdays, we will get 3,000 people there at the school activity or at the sports day. Then what we have seen works best, there must be maybe 2 or 3 people from the SMT. There can be 1 or 2 people from the governing body. And then there's an educator in charge of that activity of getting the money. And on the hour they go and they get the money at the gate. To safeguard those people, it is best to arrange with the security company. They can stand there with the guards just outside the school premises to block any people that can just run into and threaten the lives of the ones that are dealing with the money. They can actually stop them there in front of the gate before they can come in and take the money. And what we recommend that the educators should actually count the money, take the money is first of all from the people at the gate, go to a safe area in the school premises, which will in this instance be by the administrative officers, close the doors, lock the door, count the money there, recount the money there, double count from the 2 people from the SMT, and it must then be checked and controlled by the by the governing body individual. They sign it off. After the next hour, then someone else from the SMT, another teacher will go, not the same one that picked the money up the first time. The second one will then go and pick up the money. The other one, the number 1 individual, will count the money. It will be controlled and checked, rechecked and double checked by the SMT member, by the governing body member again. So 2 SMT members, 1 governing body member, those 3 people can count the money, pack it away in the safe, pack it away in the smaller safe within the big safe, and everything is fine, and we can move forward. If they then should come out at the night and somebody breaks into the school and steal the money, that money will be safeguarded due to the fact that we have measured it in a proper, decent manner. Cash purchases, extra stock. Now, this is a thing that happens at so many schools, and this is bad business. The way that schools are conducting this system is not very good business. They for example, buy. They want to sell 1,000 hamburgers and 1,000 cold drinks for the number of people that are coming to the activity at the school. Then they must judge it completely because on that particular day, it's a sunny day and everybody wants to be out in the nature. And then instead of 1,000 people, there comes 1,500 people, then people from outside to come and visit the school. Immediately they're running short with regard to the hamburgers and for the cold drink and the stock which they bought. Now they take the money of the school, the money that they've made there in the tuck shop. They take 200, 300 rand, 400 rand from that money, give it to someone and say, go and buy some more hamburger patties, some more bread rolls, some more that. And nobody has control about that money. That money it was in the system, it was not counted yet, it's gone, it's out. It's not good business. This is really bad business to run a school system in that way. The best is to try to determine how many people will most become, rather buy more and do it in a proper, decent manner with all the requests for activity to buy, get the paper documentation ready at finance department, and then there will no comebacks when we look into the system. So I would suggest that we rather look into it, that you buy a little bit more, 200, 300 more patties or whatever. You can easily sell it afterwards to the parents or to the learners, and they will actually buy it if it was not sold on that particular day. In the market day, I already spoken to you guys about the market day. The installs, when we have a function like a festive day at school, we normally have those stalls and everybody is running their own stalls, grade 8s, grade 9s, grade 10s, grade 11s, grade 12s, and there are for grade 8s, there are, maybe, for example, 10 or 15 stalls. For grade 9, there are 20 stalls, and everybody is running their own business. Eventually, there are a lot of smart shops, little spaza shops, small shops on the premises, but there are many activities and lots of money that's going, exchanging hand to hand. This is where we don't expect only the parents to come in and look and whether they can assist their child or the children who are in that particular shop, that small stall, but we expect the educators also to be involved and to assist the learners so that they can learn how to work with the money, learn with a big activity like market day or whatever, and then at least they can safeguard the money as well, and they see how the system is working. Although they will know that cash money will cost them, because cash money must be counted, cash money must be reconciled, it must be written down, the receipts must be written, it must be handed to the people who are banking it for us at the different banks, and that is costing money to shift money from a school to a bank. But at least that the control is good and the checking system is good. The stalls can actually utilize the school to best benefit. Then tuck shops during functions, and so many times this has happened in schools. When I'm talking about this, you will realize that you have seen this so many times. They have a function at the school hall at the night, and the tuck shop and the big tuck shop of the school is right down at the bottom of the sport fields. And now tonight they are having this function at the school hall, and then they bring the tuck shop activities like the cold drink and the bread rolls and the sweets and the chips. They bring all of that commodity, bring them to a temporary tuck shop next to the school hall, but there's no proper control. So everybody wants cold drink now, everybody wants chips now, and they grab the money, put it there, and check it, and do that, and give the food to, and eventually nobody counts. So if everybody is just running and catching, you will find easily that towards the end of the evening, you see to yourself, where's the money? We didn't make money because everybody is taking money, taking change, give it out, come back, and there's no trust and there's no control. So there must be somebody that sits there apart from all the other can run around, and there must one guy that must take the money, and that one guy must give the change, and that one guy must safeguard the little small safe or that little tin, what do you call that? Like a blicky. In the old days, we talk about a blicky. Now, then at least they can safeguard that money that it doesn't get away. Sport meetings, many sport meetings, as I said, we don't realize how much money is coming into the system on that particular Friday or Saturday when they're having a sports activity. And it is necessary for the group of people who are working with that they can go and get the money on the hour. And if it's a lot of money, a lot of people, like maybe 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people coming to the activities of sport day, then it's better that they go every half an hour. There must be somebody that can pick up the money, The money must be safeguarded. Their lives must be safeguarded. They take it to the safe. They count it in the safe. $0.50 and the other one 20 cents and the other one 10 rand and 50 rand. And then over during the night, somebody came, they stole the bottles, they bagged the bottles, they take the money, it's gone, it's worthless, it's useless, it's gone. We didn't get anything out of that money. So no bottles or cans with cash in because people will go for it. Then it's with cash school fees, always a problem. Instead of take the cash and pay it in the morning when it comes to the school, this child will take some of the money and go to the tuck shop and buy for his friends, and everybody will love him, and he buy for the ladies, and they are impressed with this young man with so much money. Coming at the end of that term or end of that month, the parents, the school will ask the parents, but where's the school fees? But we have paid school fees. No, let's get your boy in and ask him. And then you will realize, okay, the money is gone. Nobody checked properly. The money must be paid in. This is what we recommend before 8 o'clock that particular morning, before 8 o'clock, so that they don't have chance to utilize that money and spend it on the tuck shop. I said they use numeric teachers. Now, what I mean by that is not that the other teachers are not good enough. The numeric teachers are very, very clued up. They can work with numbers and figures, and they are quick and easy. So we want those people to be there. They can calculate quickly. They can see to this is right, this is not right. I don't say that other educators can't do it, but this is what I find in my experiences over years, that the people with numeracy, they think outside the box. Those are the ones that we really want in the system. I already spoke to the 5 Rand plus activity and said when it's 5 Rand, you must give receipts. Register today's money for today. Now what we do is people will have a function at the school, and then they take the money and say, okay, we will do it next week. We haven't got time to take care of it now. We can't count it now. It must be counted on that particular same day. It must be monitored properly. It must be written up. It must be packed away. It must be safeguarded. And then it must be in the safe. Do today's money today, tomorrow's money tomorrow. You will best benefit by your schools. Activities and money. Let me just see what I have. I think I've actually dealt with that one as well. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, putting together a committee. This is very important to have a committee that can take care of the handling of the whole cash process in the school. But now we sometimes choose the right people. Actually, sometimes we wish to choose the right people. But there are people that I call the not better informed people. These guys know always better. They whatever you say, they say leave it to me. I know how to do it, and I've done it in the past, but they can't actually do it because they haven't got the means and the knowledge and the experience, and they don't even sometimes have the will, but they are known as the better known informed people. Ask me, I know. I have been around the block. Ask me, you know nothing about the money, you know nothing about this process, you know nothing about this project. Those are tough customers and difficult people. I say, don't use those people on your committee. If you have a committee, a cash handling committee, don't. These people are better known. Sometimes they think they can do something, they can make a deal with something, and they said, "Yeah, no, I've done well." Actually, they didn't do well. Just have a look at this video clip and enjoy it.
Tricky. I need to talk to you about something very important. Now, I know your experience. Boys are back. You want to be something. That's it, boys. You know, I thought that was going to be difficult. Who is actually
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, you can hear that one and you see it. Those are the people who think like that gentleman. There are people that think that they know everything. They've been around the block, but they don't actually know. Then the second one activity is don't appoint someone in that committee of yours who are not intelligent. Now you're going to say to me, but all educators are intelligent. By that I mean that I'm just a little tongue in cheek. I say people that are really not with the system. They are not knowledgeable with regard to money should be, how it should be handled, how it should be checked, how it should be controlled. Don't use people on the committee that are not in particular very bright, because they will track you down and they will make you mad. They will actually see to it that you don't get to the front. Um, listen to this one. I think this is also brilliant.
You know, I had the shock of my life. I was in the teacher's hall. That was so pretty. At that age, you don't even have to be pretty, and you're pretty. You know, I just felt like one of the girls. We had a wonderful time. And then I got into my car and caught a glimpse of myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't get this woman on your panel. She will make you mad in total. She will make you mad. The last activities, let's come to the practical activity tips. There are 3 times educators plus a SGB member. So what we say is that there must be like 3 educators. 2 of them will control. 1 of them will count the money. 2 of them will control and sign it off. There's 3 there. Plus the 1 SGB member who also will sign it off. And then you take the first batch of the money and you take it to the safes and put it in the safes. It's marked off. It's rubber bands put around it, and it's fixed and finalized. And then you go to the second session when after 1 hour, then 2 other educators will come into the system, and they will monitor while the SGB member and 1 educator will count the money. You take it back to the safe again. This is the only way that you can safeguard yourself, and that you can be alert if you should actually go and fetch the money, say only every 4 or 5 or 6 hours. Then something happens and somebody come and take the money from the people there at the gate and run away, then you will lose a lot of money at one time. So it's better to safeguard yourself by looking at every hour, on the hour, take the money and go. Again, I say security. I'm talking about CPF or GPF, what we call GPF in Afrikaans. Security and the police, you can organize the police or the security guards or the security company. It's going to cost a little bit more, but safeguard the money, because that also safeguard the lives of the people that are prepared to assist us in selling the tickets, entrance tickets, etc. What we find is, in olden days, we have said, okay, but you can buy this one table where you can actually buy the tickets. You take the ticket to the tuck shop and you exchange the ticket with the tuck shop. Now that did work. You can actually then go and say all the green tickets is for cold drink, all the red tickets are like a red tag is for hamburgers, the yellow one is for pancakes, etc., etc. And then people can come and buy, and they just take that token and they hand in the token, and we count the tokens afterwards, and we see how many of these commodity products that we sell, and we can also see how much money that we actually gain. What I find what is best is you market 5 rand, 10 rand, 20 rand, 30 rand, 40 rand, 50 rand, and then you sell that whole package of numbers. And somebody must give you then 100 rand, and they can get the 120, the 20, the 30, the 40, the 50 rand, and they just mark it off with a Cokie pen. So there's only one place where they are actually using money. That is when they actually buy that card with the numbers on. Then they can actually exchange that at the tuck shop. And if that money is too little and it is finished, then they can go and buy another card. And it's only at one place where we have the money and we safeguard that specific area in a better way, where they have the tokens and the money. I say use teachers, and in some instances we can use learners, but preferably not learners, but use teachers and not parents. And what I say is, some parents who actually would like to come and assist is because some of them are really having a hard time out there to survive the economy, to survive the system. And these people are just waiting for opportunities like what schools are actually offering them to come and work for an hour. And if you don't count the money, after an hour, you're losing that money, because those two people, man and wife, who came to assist us, take the money and they run. But you think they have assisted you. In the meantime, they took some of the money that was not counted yet, that are in the blood, and then they run with that money. So that we come to an athletics activity that we have hosted. And when we get to the end of that day, we have lost, in fact, 13,000 Rand, because every hour, there were 2 people coming, and we didn't check with them. We didn't check the money. We didn't control it. So the issue is very good, and it is easy as it is. We make proper arrangements to advance our access cash, and we see to which way are we going to place the money, where will we place the money, what is the safeguarding of the money. And then eventually we will get the money in, we can survive it. I hope that you have learned something from me. Maybe you are actually experiencing many of these activities that I've mentioned already. It was a great opportunity, and thank you so much. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you so much, Willie, for this insightful webinar. I've definitely learned a lot from these colleagues. I hope you also did. Please note that the platform will generate the certificates that will be sent to you directly. All right, so thank you so much for spending time with us today, and have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you.